During his 2-year term, Joko Widodo has enhanced the nation's role in international forums under the Foreign Ministry. One example of this was demonstrated during the G20 Indonesia presidency held in Bali in November 2022. Leaders from member countries attended the summits, including U.S. President Joe Biden, Chinese President Xi Jinping, and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Meanwhile, Ukraine was also invited by Joko Widodo despite not being a member of the G20. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky participated via video during the summit.
Stop the war. I repeat, stop the war. A lot is at stake.
He took the initiative to come to Russia and to Ukraine. Even the head of NATO leaders, also the NATO leader countries, had no guts to come to Russia, to Ukraine during this very difficult time. Talk to the president of Ukraine, you could see the respect he gained when President Zelensky waited for him at the street, yeah? And based on the good ammunition he had from Germany and Ukraine, he went to Russia to meet President Putin. This is also amazing. Yeah? When Putin met foreign leaders, there is a long table, about 2 meters something. But when Putin met Jokowi, they were separated by a small table, flower on top of it, and then that's it. So even though the mission to Ukraine and Russia was set to open the room for dialogue, it went further than that. Yeah.
Indonesia has also been actively involved in addressing the Rohingya humanitarian crisis in Myanmar by implementing the 5-point consensus, which was discussed during Indonesia's chairmanship at the 42nd and 43rd ASEAN summits in 2023.
But it's not only about the G20 presidency, it's also about the chairmanship of Indonesia of ASEAN that has also shown that Indonesia has been able to put a very strong and solid platform for ASEAN to continue to become the center of the global growth, the center of Indo-Pacific, and be able to have an inclusive cooperation amongst the countries around the region. And so this is actually putting a very strong platform for ASEAN in the future, and also to ensure that we are going to actually have a regional security around the ASEAN region.
Indonesia cannot, I repeat, cannot sit back and relax, seeing the injustice that continues to be committed against the people of Palestine. Indonesia is and will always stand with the people of Palestine to attain their right to have an independent state of Palestine.
Indonesia consistently promotes the freedom of Palestine through a two-state solution and supports full membership for Palestine in the United Nations.
Saya dan rakyat Indonesia, kita semuanya tetap konsisten untuk terus bersama dengan rakyat Palestina dalam memperjuangkan kemerdekaan dan hak-haknya sesuai dengan amanah pembukaan Undang-Undang Dasar 1945.
Mr. President,
The commitment of Indonesia was reinforced in Marsudi's last speech as Foreign Affairs Minister at the United Nations General Assembly last September.
As Ibu Retno, our Foreign Minister, has always said that we need to actually work together. We need to actually work through the various international fora, particularly through the UN. And I think this is certainly something that we are optimistic that the two-state solution that is something that we already envisioned for the last several years. We hope that we will actually be able to realize it.
major projects that has been in the spotlight in a decade of the infrastructure development under the Jokowi's administration is the Nusantara capital city in East Kalimantan. It is intended to be the symbol of Indonesia's transformation into modern, sustainable, and equitable country. And it is expected that by moving the capital city from Jakarta to Nusantara, it will reduce the development gap between Java and other islands.
The idea of moving the Indonesian capital city was sparked by first President Sukarno on July 17, 1957. He chose Palangkaraya as the proposed new capital. Since then, the discourse of relocating the capital has continued from one president to the next. Then, on August 26, 2019, Joko Widodo announced the relocation of the capital city to the area between North Penajam Pasar Regency and Kutai Kartanegara Regency in East Kalimantan. This city was later named Nusantara.
Yang paling penting adalah perpindahan ini untuk pemerataan, untuk keadilan. Magnet ada di Pulau Jawa dan ada di Jakarta. Oleh sebab itu, harus ada magnet yang lain, sehingga dari 17.000 pulau ini semuanya tidak menuju ke Jawa, sehingga beban Pulau Jawa, beban Jakarta tidak semakin berat. Jadi dimulai dari sana, pemerataan dan keadilan.
The development of a new capital city began on March 14, 2022 from a 0-kilometer point of a city. In just 2 years, Nusantara's development has progressed significantly. The 79th Indonesian Independence Day ceremony was held for the first time in the new capital on August 17, 2024.
So some of the delegation that has actually been visiting the Nusantara capital or the future capital of Nusantara coming from, for example, Singapore, a big delegation, and they have already voiced that they are actually quite interested in participating in the development and the investment of the future capital city of Nusantara. And we hope, but this is actually something that is ongoing. So we hope that in the future there will continue to be. But it's not only about investing in the property sector, for example, of Nusantara. We also have numerous interests, for example, coming from outside of Indonesia to be investing in the infrastructure of the future capital city, such as water management.
To achieve long-term goals, the government must ensure that infrastructure development is balanced with sustainable development policies. Physical connectivity must go hand in hand with human and technological development to prepare Indonesia for future challenges and the Golden Indonesia 2045 vision. As new leadership takes over, Jokowi leaves a lasting mixed impact on Indonesia's domestic and global direction, marking a decade of transformative leadership.